Hey folks, this is Vince with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to take a quick look at the game Deadfall. This game is for 2 to 7 players, and the box says it plays in 5 minutes. I have to disagree with that. I would have to say that each round takes about 2 to 3 minutes, but each player has a pot of 50 coins that is not pictured here. I didn't have any coins or chips on hand to do this, but each player starts with 50 coins or chips, and you're going to be paying other players based on who wins and who loses, but I'll get to that in a minute. So in actuality, I'd say this game plays in about half an hour or so. There's no age requirement on the box either. I'd have to say 8 and up just because this is very easy to play. So what is Deadfall? Well, it basically just has a deck of cards. There's 1 1, 2 2s, 3 3s, 4 4s, 5 5, 6 6s, 7 7s, 8 8s, 9 9s, and 10 10s. So there's 1 through 10 as far as the numbers are concerned. And this is known as a pairs deck. And I'm told in the manual here that other games can actually use this deck of cards in order to play them. So if you happen to know other games that have the same type of deck associated with it, then you can play those games with this particular deck. But in this game, which is what we're going to focus on, Deadfall, each player gets a hand of 6 cards and 50 starting chips. In a 2-player game, each player gets 7 cards, and I think a 7-player game, each player gets 5 cards. But here it's a 3-player game that I set up, and each player got 6 cards. So basically, the first thing you do is each player chooses a door card. A door card is basically a starting card that everyone reveals at the same time. So let's say that we'll do a door card of 4 for this guy. You put it face down when you're ready. Same thing goes here. I'm just going to choose one at random. How about this one? Sure. And this one here, let's just say he decides to put this one down. Okay. Alright, so then they all get revealed at once, and whoever has the lowest card starts off the round. And the object of the game, basically, is to just continue playing cards. You can either play a card on your turn, or you can call somebody. Once you call someone, that's it. The round is over. And either the person that called and the person being called will either be the winner or the loser. So one of those two are going to be paying the other person. And also at the beginning of the round, everyone antes 1 chip into the center of the table. Again, I don't have any chips handy to show you that, but everyone puts 1 chip into the center. But anyway, getting back to this, the lowest number goes first, and starting with this player, you choose a card, you put it down, and let's say I put down a 9. Okay, and again, there's 9 9s in the deck. So this player now has to decide, okay, now does anyone else have a 9 in their hand? Like, he's trying to weigh the odds here. Does he even have a 9 in his hand? Yeah, he does. So he's not going to call this player. He knows that there's another 9 somewhere in this everyone's hand, and obviously he's the one that has it. So, and this player may even have a 9. So he's not going to call this player and instead play a card. So he's going to play a, well, he could risk a 3 in the hopes that someone else has a 3, but the chances are smaller than a 9 because there's 9 9s in the deck and there's only 3 3s in the deck. So he could play, say, a 5 and be somewhat safe. All right, now this player has to, and these cards have to be visible face up like so. Now this player is going to take a look at his hand. Now he sees he has a 5, so he knows that he cannot call this player because he has a 5 in his hand. And whenever you call a player, basically you're claiming that he has a dead card, basically meaning that there's no other number in anyone's hand of that particular type. So if this player were to call on this one right now, that would be really stupid because I have a 5 here in the hand, and this player would end up losing that particular battle between the two. So instead he's going to go ahead and play, say, a 6 in the hopes that someone else has a 6 and won't call him on it. This player is going to say, I don't have any 6s, but this player might have a 6, and this player still might have another 6, so maybe I'll play an 8 and be safe. And you know he's going to be safe because he has another 8 in his hand, meaning that if anyone calls him on it, he can put that down and show him, yes, I have another 8, it's not dead, so then you'd lose that particular call. Alright, so now this player goes. And let's say that this player goes ahead and says, okay, you know what, I don't think any other player has an 8, even though that's kind of against the odds because there's 8 8s in the deck. He could play this 10, for example, or he could play a 9, but he's going to go ahead and call this player on it just to get the ball rolling on this example. So what would happen is every player reveals their cards at this point. The hand is over. And it just so happens that there were more than 1 8. I mean, yeah, there was a lot of 8s still left over. There was 1-8 over here and 1-8 over here. And because of that, this player who called on this player loses, and this player wins. And this loser has to pay the winner the cost of the value of the called card. So this player would pay this player 8 of their coins or chips, and the winner would also get each chip that was in the center from the ante. And that ends the hand. Now, the directions don't tell you what happens when players run out of cards. Let's say no one calls on anybody. It doesn't actually say what to do in that case. I'm assuming that the hand's over and no one wins and you just play another round, but it doesn't actually say. So there's a little bit of misdirection here. And on top of that, like I was saying, it says here 5 minutes, but I don't agree with that. I think that's a little misleading. I think that the game, plays in about half an hour to 45 minutes, because you're going to have many hands that you're going to have to go through. There's going to be shuffling of cards, different things like that. So after that, you're going to go ahead and shuffle the cards back up. Each player gets 5 or 6 or 7 more cards, depending on the number of players. And this continues until one player has all of the coins or the chips. Now, of course, you can shorten the game up a bit and say after 3 rounds, whoever has the most chips or coins will end up winning. So you could do it that way if you want to. So it is flexible. The manual doesn't tell you that, of course, but there are some variations in the back of the manual should you want to switch up your game a bit. So there you go. That's a quick look at Deadfall. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool filler game. There's a little bit of bluffing involved, and some calculating. Again, there's 1-1 and 2 2s and 3 3s in the deck, so you're trying to figure out, okay, did that player play the last of that card? Does someone else have that card somewhere? So it's a little like Clue in that sense when you're trying to accuse someone of, having a particular card type or a person or room or whatever. It's much the same way with this, only when you lose, that's it. So yeah, Deadfall. I'm going to have a little review out on my official website, www.dadsgamingaddiction.com. There's a link in the below description if you want to see that. If you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. And of course, thanks for watching. Have a good one.